Is the universe infinite? Does it have an edge? And if it does, what's beyond it? Let's start with what we know. The universe began about 14 billion years ago in the Big Bang, and it's been expanding ever since. Now here's the first weird part. When something expands, we expect it to have an edge. But in the universe, the edge isn't quite what you'd think. Light can only travel so fast, so we can only see the parts of the universe whose light has reached us since the Big Bang. That gives us a kind of bubble, the observable universe, centered around Earth. And because of the universe's expansion, the edge of this bubble isn't 14 billion light-years away. It's actually about 45 billion light-years in every direction. That's a sphere with over 200 billion galaxies, each containing hundreds of billions of stars. But beyond that sphere, we can't see. Not yet, maybe not ever. So yes, we do have an edge, but it's not an edge in space, it's an edge in time. But what lies beyond what we can see? There are two main ideas. 1. The universe is finite, it has a limited size. 2. The universe is infinite, it goes on forever. If the universe is finite, does that mean it has a wall? What's on the other side of that wall? Well, maybe nothing, but physics offers a clever workaround. Imagine an ant walking on the surface of an orange. To the ant, the surface seems endless, but it's actually finite, just curved. No borders, no edges, just round. Now imagine that but in 3 dimensions, a hypersphere, a universe that curves back on itself. In a universe like that, if you flew your spaceship in a straight line long enough, you'd end up right back where you started, but it gets weirder. Some scientists propose a hyperdonut, a more complex shape where space loops in odd ways. In a donut universe, traveling in different directions could bring you back at different times. You could even see the same galaxy in 2 different places, in 2 different eras, a cosmic hall of mirrors. How big would that be? We don't know. But it could be the smallest possible universe that feels infinite. Now let's go full sci-fi. What if the universe is actually infinite? That's what many cosmological models suggest. An infinite universe, stretching on forever in all directions. It doesn't mean it's always existed. We still have strong evidence for the Big Bang. It just means space itself keeps expanding, even if it's already infinite. A paradox? Yes, but that's what infinity does. And here's where it gets even wilder. If the universe is infinite and the number of particle combinations is finite, eventually things start repeating. Somewhere out there, there could be a planet just like Earth, with someone just like you. So what are the possibilities for the parts of the universe we can't see? There are 2 main ideas. 1. The universe is finite. A huge but limited structure with a total size we could, in theory, measure, like a giant globe. Or 2, the universe is infinite. It goes on, forever, in every direction. No boundaries, no center, no edge. Let's start with the finite idea. If the universe is finite, wouldn't that mean it has an edge? A cosmic wall where everything ends? That seems logical. So, how big would a donut-shaped universe have to be? Well, based on observations, if that's the shape we live in, then the universe has to be much bigger than the part we can observe. At least 1,000 times bigger, possibly millions, maybe infinitely big. But we still haven't answered the biggest question. What if the universe really is infinite? If that's true, then we're looking at something beyond comprehension. An endless universe, no edges, no repeating loops. Just space, going on forever. It sounds impossible. But this idea isn't science fiction. It's one of the leading possibilities in modern cosmology. Strangely enough, this is what many cosmological models actually suggest. The math we use to describe the early universe, the way galaxies spread out, the way light bends and stretches, works really well if space has no limit. Even though we mostly apply these models to just the observable part of the universe, When taken literally, they describe a cosmos that keeps going, infinitely. But here's the paradox. If the universe is infinite, how could it have started with a Big Bang? How do you make something infinite from a single moment? Well, it turns out you can. The Big Bang didn't happen at one point in space. It happened everywhere, all at once. It wasn't an explosion into space. It was the sudden expansion of space itself. Even if the universe was infinite on day one, it's still been stretching and growing ever since. That's what cosmic expansion means. Galaxies drifting apart, space between them expanding. Not because they're moving through space, but because space itself is expanding. And yes, an infinite thing can still grow. Welcome to the strange logic of cosmology. But now comes the part that really messes with your head. If the universe is infinite, then eventually, somewhere out there, things might begin to repeat. Why? Because everything in existence, you, me, stars, planets, is made from a finite number of particles. And if the building blocks are limited, there are only so many possible combinations. It's a huge number, yes, but still finite. So in an infinite universe, those combinations must repeat, which means somewhere out there, statistically speaking, there could be another you watching this same video, thinking the same thoughts at the same moment, or maybe a version of you with slightly different memories, a life that almost matches yours, but not quite, or maybe thousands of versions, millions, all playing out in parallel, scattered across the infinite sea of space. It sounds like science fiction, but it's not impossible. It's just math. But hold on. Just because something is possible in an infinite universe doesn't mean it actually happens. Maybe the universe repeats. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe there's only one version of you, ever. We don't know. Because here's the hard truth. Even if the universe is truly infinite, we will probably never know for sure. We're limited by light, by time, by the laws of physics. Everything outside our observable universe is just out of reach. We can never touch it, never visit it, never even see it. The universe could go on forever, or curve back on itself, or twist into shapes our brains can't even imagine. And yet, for us, it's effectively finite. We can only observe a sphere about 93 billion light-years across. That's our cosmic bubble, the observable universe. That's all we'll ever be able to interact with. But don't let that make it feel small. Because inside that sphere are 200 billion galaxies, each with hundreds of billions of stars, and possibly trillions of planets. Even if we never touch the true edge of the cosmos, what we can reach is still overwhelmingly vast. Big enough for civilizations, for dreams, for discoveries we haven't even imagined yet. Infinity isn't required to make the universe feel incredible. This single bubble, this one slice of existence we get to explore, is more than enough. Enough for questions, enough for wonder, enough to fill countless lifetimes with awe. So whether the universe is finite or infinite, what matters most is this. We're here, right now, able to ask these questions, to look up, to wonder. And sometimes, that's the most beautiful part of it all. So, if you're still here, still wondering, still staring into the sky with a curious mind, then you're exactly the kind of person this channel is for. Leave a comment, tell me what you think is out there, and if you want more journeys like this one, consider subscribing. Until next time, stay curious.